Good morning, everybody. Welcome to pre-market update. You can see we just got a PCE data at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, and futures are now bouncing from the buy zone. This is the green zone where we buy, red zone is where we sell. They were down 0.5% on S&P 500. Nasdaq also, you can see, came in the buy zone, now trying to go higher. Same thing for the Dow Jones and Russell 2000, and even Bitcoin. You can see here came to the buy zone, came to third standard deviation, and now bouncing. It could bounce from here, go up to like 100,500, and that's the area where you could sell. So you can see a bounce happening. We'll review all the indices in a higher time frame in 1 day, hour, 1 day, and then weekly, and then we'll review all the commodities, and at the end we'll wrap up with FANG stocks. Please hit the like button, guys. I really appreciate, and share this channel with friends and family. Okay, so let's start with Bitcoin, and let's go to daily chart of Bitcoin, and you can see what's happening right now on Bitcoin. We came below, and we are touching this 50 EMA and SMA, these yellow and red lines, and that's where it found support. But you can see if I go to weekly, just to get a higher time frame, there's not a lot of support here in this area. Okay, so there are these wicks which are happening. So if I can draw a rectangle here, these wicks here. Okay, so these are the support area, let's say around 90,000. Okay, if this thing breaks, it's going to come back down, straight down. Let me go back to daily. So if this support does not hold, guys, if this support does not hold, then it's going to go probably straight up, straight down. And the reason I'm saying that is because there's a big election gap here on Bitcoin. This is US elections pump. 11th of November, straight up. It's going to come probably straight down. One of the reasons it should fill soon, because you can see S&P 500 is almost now entering the gap. Okay, so I think they're going to probably try to fill that gap today on S&P 500, this US elections gap, and that gap will be filled when SPY touches 576. On triple Q, that gap is a bit far, so it has more time to fail to fill this gap. On Dow Jones, it's already kind of, that's where it is right now on the gap fill, fully filled on pre-market. And then IWM also filled a couple of days ago, actually yesterday, day before yesterday, it filled that gap. So all the other indices already fill this gap. And for Bitcoin to fill this gap, it has to go from here to almost 18% dump. Okay, so that can happen. That's pretty normal with Bitcoin, guys. If you know, if you know crypto, you should know this. And one of the other reasons is it's going higher with lower high on PPO. I've been telling prices are going higher with lower momentum, so you got to be careful with the you need to know when to take profits. You can see lower high, PPO and RSI both are going, showing lower high, prices going higher high, and green line is below red line. So all the indications are saying we will get lower prices. Okay. Ethereum is weaker than Bitcoin, finding support here around 200 EMA and SMA blue lines. ETH chart has a gap to fill here around 2970, so they're gonna 100% fill this gap. So from where we are right now, it's gonna come back around 9-10% to fill that gap. Definitely 100%. Okay. And if that doesn't hold, then it's going here to 2236 to fill that gap. So keep that in mind and trade accordingly. Hold. Hopefully you listen to me and sold at top, and now you're just looking to buy the dip again. But I told you this is not where you want to be buying at the top. Okay, guys, I will go to the traditional market SPX cycle analysis. I had to update this cycle chart yesterday, and we're looking for a bottom. So today could be a bottom, Friday, and then we can look for a lower high, a rally, like maybe a low volume rally to make a lower high and then go lower. But for now, I'm looking for another day of bottom. And S&P 500, you can see already trying to make a new low. It did make a new low, so let's see where it will find bottom on SPX or SPY. I think elections gap is the target probably, since it came all the way here. So around 0.75, so around 1.5% lower it should go to fill that gap, and then decide if it's going to go lower or it's going to fill that gap and now we ready to go higher. Okay, now one of the other things, if I want to show you on the higher time frame on 4 hours chart on S&P 500, you can see ideally this is a 4 hours chart. RSI is very oversold. This is the zone you want to buy around 5400. Okay, this is US 500. From where we are right now, to go there we need another, let's say, 7% dump, And I do expect a 10% correction. I don't know if it's going to happen now or it's going to happen in next year. We have to wait and see. Most likely because RSI is so oversold, they're going to start to rally. You can see every time RSI comes here, they try to rally. All right. You can see time and time again, every time it touches green line, that's usually a good time to buy. So they could even here where it was like a bear market, you can see whenever RSI went so low, they always try to rally at least get a dead cat bounce. Okay, then we come back again later here. So I'm looking for a dead cat bounce because RSI is very oversold here. You can see even here it was light green, light red background. So at least looking for a short-term bounce whenever that happens, and then eventually come to this green area. That's my target to basically load all the triple X ETF, go heavy on them. All right. Okay, so let's go back to now Nasdaq. This is Nasdaq, and here you go, daily chart. Nasdaq finding support on 50 EMA SMA down 1% pre-market, and NDX also. You can see there are two gaps here. If I show you a triple Q, you do see that gaps do get filled 99%, 90% of the time. So they're going to probably fill these two gaps, and then eventually then this election gap will be there. So from where we are, we closed on Friday, I mean Thursday, to the election gap. We are looking for around 4% dump. But right now it's up, down only 0.9%. So we'll see. At least at minimum 4 or 5, 4 or 6, these two gaps will be filled, and then maybe they will have a rally and then come back later to fill the selection gap. So keep that in mind. Dow Jones is the weakest of all indices, finding some support here on DIA ETF. This gap fill is probably they're going to find support at market open. It's already sitting at the gap fill. Maybe try to let if that fails, then there are other two gaps here at the bottom to fill. IWM next gap is here, this gap here, which happened on 13 September. So they could come back all the way down to fill this gap and then rally after that. This is a US 2000 as well. Oil hanging in there, like hanging in there on 20 moving average, and probably the best trade in my opinion. Like you can see below the trend line right now, not able to hold it, but if it can rally and break out today, that will be good. Just making this made a new high here compared to previous high. We just need to pick up right now. We don't want to go below. So let's see if oil can somehow pump. That's going to help CNQ, which is like all the energy sector are like went through a crash actually. But we just got to hold really tight. This is not the area you want to sell. Actually, it probably gave all the gains back. So probably this year made no gains on CNQ. So we'll see how it go. Even XLE, you can see straight down. Like it's very rare to see just straight down move, but whenever you things go straight down, they can go straight up again too. So you can see straight down here, straight up again, straight down here, straight up again. So I'm not too worried on energy sector. So I think it's a good area to load in compared to all other sectors. Hang Seng Index holding here, looking for 18K. Toronto Stock Exchange also weaker, getting a 9 count buy signal, but could get to next gap as well at 23,700. That's possible as well. Natural gas, you can see natural gas is above all moving averages, looking for new high. Gold is hardly holding. If it goes below this previous low here, looking for this 2400 actually to buy again gold. Silver looking for lower prices. You can extend this trend line, and you can see silver could come all the way down to 25 level. Copper found some support here, so let's see if it can bounce here. Sugar weaker, could go coming near support area, so that's that can hold. Wheat is weaker, only buy above this blue line close 560, and corn is looking nice actually, again holding above all moving averages. Consolidation looks like bottom is in, getting higher here. Dollar, nice move here. Dollar broke out after Fed speech, and now maybe back test this support and then keep going higher possible. So keep that in mind. Other than that, in terms of FANG stocks, Apple did not do much, even down 0.8%, just new high. So it could come all the way down to fill this gap actually, 233. So don't be surprised if it comes all the way down. It broke out, back test, and then go higher. That's quite possible. Meta also like just consolidating. I think all these FANG stocks are so much pumped, they can really afford to go back lower. You can see all the gaps on Google. Microsoft has a gap, they're coming there. CrowdStrike can also come back to fill some of these gaps. ServiceNow can also come back. You can see all these are with big gaps. NVDA 0.55%, but this next gap around 119. AVGO earnings gap, huge gap here. Tesla down only 1.8%, was down like 5% at some point in the morning. Could come back to around 391, and then there's like this is a parabolic move. Big also election gap here, so won't be surprised if some of these gaps start to get filled. AMD really weak here. Um, J&J rallying for some reason, I don't know. We'll see later. And let's wrap up with VIX. VIX is down. Uh, Actually, there's also a gap on the top. Like if you go to 1 hour chart, you can see it gap down. So probably they're going to rally VIX to fill that gap. So just keep that in mind that VIX has another pump left, and that means S&P 500 can go even lower. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Hit the like button on your way out and share this channel with friends and family. And have a good weekend. Bye.